So Kanye West shedding some followers on Twitter because of the love that he's showing for President Trump and for my next guest. This morning, he called President Trump his brother. You don't have to agree with Trump, he wrote, but the mob can't make me not love him. We are both dragon energy. He is my brother. I love everyone. I don't agree with everything anyone does. That's what makes us individuals. And we have the right to independent thought, to which President Trump replied, thank you, Kanye. Very cool. It seems Kanye is okay with two terms for the president, but he also tweeted a look into the future at his own run with this cryptic 2024. And it seems that it all started after the pushback Kanye got for writing, I love the way Candace Owens thinks. Here now is Candace Owens, Communications Director of Turning Point USA. Candace, good to see you tonight. Thank you very much for being with us this evening. I want to put up a tweet that you wrote. You said the masters control everything, including who blacks and even are even allowed to like. Kanye tweeted 7 words, and they jumped up and told blacks that they must immediately revolt. How many of you jumped up and did that? How many of you have your minds enslaved? Tell me about writing that.
It's just the truth. It's what I've been preaching about long before Kanye wrote this 7-word tweet that broke the internet, is that at once they enslaved our bodies, the Democratic Party, but today they have enslaved our minds. They have told us who we must love, who we must hate, what we must think, what ideas are unacceptable. And in the long run, it just doesn't add up. Listen, I think differently. Kanye West thinks differently. I can guarantee you if he and I get in the same room, we will have a lot of disagreements. But the one thing that we will celebrate is our right to think differently. I don't understand what's so controversial for the left to understand this. The way that they have demonized him in the last 72 hours is almost sickening, but at the end of the day, it's going to have adverse effects. I can guarantee you that. Well,
Kim Kardashian seems a bit concerned about it. She tweeted to the media, trying to demonize my husband. Let me say this. Your commentary on Kanye being erratic and his tweets being disturbing is actually scary. So quick to label him as having mental health issues just by being himself. He's always been expressive. It's not fair. I want to take a look at John Legend, too, because he is very upset. I love that great, brilliant artists have the power to imagine a better future, but artists can't be blind to the truth. Candace.
Well, first of all, John Legend has me blocked on Twitter. He and his wife made some very vicious attacks against me before Kanye ever got involved. They said some nasty things to me because I support President Trump. That's the only reason. At the end of the day, I think that this is sort of foot in your mouth syndrome with John Legend and his wife, Chrissy Teigen. They've been disgusting. They have led the pack in hate against President Trump, in so much that President Trump blocked his wife because she basically said, if you don't agree with me, I have the right to bully you. These are the celebs that say that they preach love. They don't preach love. What Kanye West is preaching right now is love. And Kim Kardashian is going to stand beside her husband and the father of her children. And I'm proud, very proud to say that I stand with both of them.
So when you look at how the African-American community has been treated by President Trump versus President Obama, you know, in terms of support, in terms of economic encouragement, in terms of empowerment, who do you think did a better job, has done a better job?
I think President Barack Obama did a better job at creating a facade. That's exactly what it was. It was a facade. It was a mirage, and we were all dying in a desert is what really happened, okay? He had tons of hip-hop artists. He had Jay-Z and Beyonce there all the time. But at the end of the day, what was going on in Chicago? Nothing got better in the black community. In fact, things got worse for the black community. He stepped out of the office, and the country had never been more divided. I never felt this way about blacks and whites when I was growing up in school. But I feel this way now because that's what Barack Obama effectively worked on. It was a way to enslave us to the Democratic Party.
You know, do you think he wasted an opportunity, President Obama?
No, I think that he never really had power. At the end of the day, he never really had any power because he borrowed a lot of money to get into office. And at the end of the day, if you borrow money, they are the people that control your strings. On the other hand, we have President Donald Trump, and he's completely free because he walked in there as a billionaire, and they tried to demonize that. He became a billionaire because of capitalism and free markets, things that we should be celebrating in this country. That is what America is all about, the American dream, and anybody can do that. And I'm so happy, again, to see that Kanye West is giving the American dream back to Black America.
All right, Candace, thank you very much. Very interesting to talk with you, and I'm glad you're here tonight. We hope to see you again soon. Many thanks.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Anytime.
All right, joining us now with reaction, civil rights attorney Daryl Parks and Turning Point USA Communications Director Candace Owens is in studio. So great to have you.
I'm so glad.
You actually are part of this story. Kanye first defended you.
That is absolutely right. Apparently, it was my brain that launched this ideological civil war in the Black community, and I am so excited about it. This is a tremendous time to be alive as a Black American. We've been existing under this facade, these lies the Democrats have orchestrated, because they consider us a low information voter market, you know, and so they think we're not going to research the stats and we'll never find out.
I hate the race card. It's played every election year.
Absolutely.
Every single election year. It drives me nuts. You know, 14 states, Daryl, now have record low unemployment, record low. Black Americans, record low. Hispanic Americans, record low. Women in America, record low. Unemployment records. That is since Donald Trump was elected president of the United States. Is that good for America? Obama had 8 years, 13 million more Americans on food stamps, 8 million more Americans in poverty. That was his legacy. Who's doing a better job? Who's doing a better job?
Well, Sean, first of all, I don't know how President Trump could take responsibility for that progress. That still doesn't deal with the real issue. The real issue is that Black Americans are still having great difficulty, and the unemployment for Black Americans is twice that of whites.
Until every forgotten man and woman has a job and a trajectory to the life they want in this great free country. You're not answering my questions. Look at these numbers.
But
now
we
I have
agree
you.
in some ways.
How did Obama fail with 13 million more Americans on food stamps? Did he fail? Did he fail with 8 million more in poverty 8 years later?
No, he did not fail at all. He did not fail at all. I think what he did was he made Black America a focus. What I want to see, though, is President Trump to show us that Black America is a priority for him and to have specifics as to how he plans to do that. There are issues of mental health,
he's skating
education,
around the issue,
healthcare.
and it's okay. I actually like when they do this, have these delusional responses. Just admit that the Blacks are doing better under the Trump presidency. That's totally fine, but it's this refusal to admit it, and Blacks are going to start doing the research, and they're going to start seeing what's going on.
I have been frustrated. Al Gore, Republicans don't even want to count you in the census, or, you know, the change in tone and cadence before predominantly Black American audiences, I always felt was insulting. But the policies, you know, look at what Kanye said, 4,000 American souls slaughtered in Chicago. We once scrolled the names. We heard about Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman. We heard about Freddie Gray, Baltimore. We heard about Ferguson. I scrolled the names. We never heard of these 4,000 people shot and killed.
Well, listen, that's because Chicago is run by Democrats, and they never want to hold up a mirror to what they're doing, so that's why we never heard those names. 4,000, that's exactly right. That's the exact same number, about the same number of Americans that were slaughtered in the Iraq War. Right? It's a war zone. And Trump offered to send the National Guard, and the Democrats majorly opposed him. So what it comes down to is Trump is trying to be effective there, and we're seeing that we have so many great results in Black America because of him.
What do you say to Daryl?
But Sean, let me say this, though. I think I want to hear from our president to tell us that something about Black America is a priority for him tomorrow. I would love to hear him focus on mental health, education, health care. Those are issues that he can help us with tomorrow.
Yeah, Obamacare worked out great for everybody.
Those issues.
Well, look, it sounds like they're signing up for 8 years of Trump. That's what it really comes down to, because he's doing a great job, the numbers are better, and he needs more time in office to continue to do an amazing job. So it sounds like you're almost aboard the Trump train, which makes me feel happy. We're agreeing on something here.
Well, let me say something. I want to see Trump be successful because this is our country, but I don't think he is focusing on the issues that really affect Black America. I hope he would, though.
So then you must agree that Obama was not focusing whatsoever on the issues that were affecting Black America if you don't think that Trump is right now, because the numbers are in and Blacks are doing better under his administration.
I love President Obama, and I don't think we should spend any more time trying to put him down.
I think it's important to show that things are a lot different, and it's important because for so long they have told us that because there was a Black president, this meant progress. Progress is not a skin tone. Progress is a number, okay? And for so long we've been convinced, look, he's taking a photo op with Beyonce and Jay-Z. That means absolutely nothing. Chicago got worse while Obama was in office, and he came from there. That's what I mean, you can't dispute the facts here.
Is this a cultural shift? Is this going to have...
We are on the brink of a cultural shift, and I can tell you right now, it is going to be amazing to watch. And I'm so happy that it starts with a single tweet. And I did predict it. I said Kanye West would be the person that broke culture. I said the last time,
when I interviewed you earlier in the week, it's going to be fun to watch your trajectory and your rise. You're a superstar.
Thank you.
And it's an honor to know you and have you. And I still like Daryl, even though we disagree on everything. Daryl, good to see you.
Basketball legend Charles Barkley has a message for Democrats. Listen.
I voted Democrat for 55 straight years. And First of all, I want to make it clear, I don't think the Republicans are better. But I think we as black people have not held Democrats accountable for taking our votes for all these years.
Is he right? Is it time for the black community to hold the Democratic Party accountable? Joining me now is a former liberal turned conservative and director of urban engagement for Turning Point USA, Candace Owens, and she joins us now. Hey, Candace, good to see you.
Good to see you as well. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. He went on to say that he's frustrated with this president, never been more disgusted because of his tweeting, his hiring and firing. So he wasn't favorable to the Republicans, even though in the past he has said some compliments to the president. But he's more frustrated than ever, he says, right now. He says the focus is too much on Russia and too much on Stormy Daniels and needs to be on change. So seems that he's frustrated with both political parties. What was your reaction to his interview with David Axelrod?
I think he was right on the money. I think what we're seeing happening is essentially what happened with me. Black people are starting to wake up and understand that the Democrats have done nothing for them ever. Really, historically, they are the ones that brought us the KKK and racial terrorism, slavery, Jim Crow laws, and then we see in the 1960s, they introduced the Great Society Act, which gave us the welfare system. So what Charles is doing is he's waking up, and he's not fully on the conservative side yet, but I think that's what's going to come up next.
Well, he would say to you, because you're a Trump supporter, he says that the Trump supporters need to look in the mirror and say, my life sucks. I hate that word. I'm sorry. I'm just quoting it. Says my life sucks because of me. So we need to take ownership of that. What were your thoughts when he said that?
I think he's incorrect. I think that he needs to understand that Trump actually represents a very real opportunity for the black community to wake up. And it starts with the death of political correctness. I don't really care about Trump's tweets. I care about the results. And the results are in. Okay, black unemployment is at a historic low right now. And that's because of the work of Trump focusing on our economy and not so much about our feelings, which has been traditionally what the Democrats have hijacked, our emotions.
Yeah, you know, it's so interesting that you bring that up because Quinnipiac, their recent poll says job approval ratings for black voters is down. It was 46% in October, and now in March it's 36%. So what does this administration, what do Democrats and Republicans need to do to focus on the black community, and how do we fix any problems in that community? What's your advice?
Well, the first thing is putting back together the black family, which Democrat President Lyndon B. Johnson tore apart with his Great Society Act, and giving us new idols altogether. But also we need to talk about the illegal immigrants. That's a huge thing that Trump has been focused on, and they have been directly harming the black community. When you talk about jobs, when you talk about who's coming in and taking the spot, it is the illegal immigrants, which is why the Democrats are so hyper-focused on getting their vote. It's a major problem which Trump is addressing, and I think all blacks need to stand with him at this point.
Okay, Candace Owens, thank you for joining us.